It's a gorgeous September afternoon in Northamptonshire in the United Kingdom. The Ferrari racing days have treated the spectators to an incredible weekend of entertainment, racing displays and glitz and glamour that only the prancing horse can provide. The Scuderia has invaded Silverstone for this fifth round of the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli series. We've travelled quite a long way across Europe over the course of this season. Monza and Mugello in the Prancing Horses' home territory in Italy, Brno, Portimao, and now Silverstone before we head on to Istanbul next month, and then the World Finals in the United Arab Emirates at the end of the season. And with this race, we might just be about to hit a tipping point in the excitement levels. I'm Jake Sanson, beside me is Charlie Hollings. What an incredible race we have before us. Yesterday was good, today could be better.
Absolutely, yes. We've got two Brits on the front row for the main race today, so it's going to be very exciting. Obviously, we're hoping to hear a national anthem as well, British national anthem. But yeah, great day, and I think we're in for a good race.
And let's be honest, with these two chaps, they're in the different categories. Alexander Martin being in the pro category and Sam Smith being in the AM category. There's nothing between them on the times in qualifying. They're very, very evenly matched. And they're not exactly the best of chums, are they? There is a bit of a rivalry between these two.
Yeah, one thing's for sure, they'll both want to win this race. And I know for Sam Smith is in the AM category, and that'll be great for him to win that. But I'm sure in the back of his head he wants to win this race outright.
So here is Alexander Martin's car, the Motor Piacenza squad car. He starts second position. Now, we should remind you, of course, that in the qualifying session earlier, he was actually fifth fastest, but because of success penalties from the previous race, the man who started in pole position, or would have started in pole position without success ballast, Daniele D'Amato, who won yesterday's race, he takes a sixth-place grid drop, so he starts seventh, and that man is promoted to pole position. Sam Smith will take a ride on board with him around the Silverstone circuit in a short while. So it is an all-British front row, but with two drivers in two different categories, in two different teams, and a little bit of a rivalry brewing between the two of them. They haven't exactly seen eye to eye on several occasions in the world of Ferrari racing. So this could be quite an interesting battle on home soil as well. Both of them looking for their first overall win of the season. Sam Smith picked up a class victory at the first weekend at Monza, but both of them will want to be the Brit that takes the victory. However, they'll have a chasing pack behind them. Giacomo Strata, third on the grid. He's trying to save face after spinning off yesterday. And this man, Dario Carzo, he only took a two-place grid drop because he was third in yesterday's race, so he starts fourth. For me, that's the man to watch.
Yes, I agree with you. I think Carzo is going to be very fast. Obviously, like you've said about the two Brits on the front row, it's going to be real wheel-to-wheel stuff with them. I actually hope Alex Martin can get the jump at the start, because I think he's going to make us create an exciting race. He's certainly not going to give up the lead very easy. I know Alex when he's racing, and he's always very hard and he fights for every position. So it'll be really close between the two of them. But Carzo, I think, just sat behind, will be very clever during this race.
Well, the British fans have definitely taken to the Silverstone circuit with any form of Ferrari, especially from the Ferrari Owners Club of GB. They're all here in force to watch this fantastic weekend of races. There's Vadim Gitlin, the Russian. Now, he could be an interesting one to watch as well. From sixth on the grid, he's pretty good off the line, but he tends to tail off towards the second half of the race. So that'll be interesting to see how well he goes in this one. This man starting fifth on the grid, Raffaele Giannoni, the Italian. Let's see what he can do from this race. He's always one that's very much in the mix as well. He could throw a spanner in the works here. Yeah,
Giannoni, you always kind of see mixing it up in that, certainly in the top six, and he kind of creeps towards that second, third, fourth position. I actually think this man will be very interesting to watch as well. He's been the pace setter all weekend, Daniele D'Amato, and he's starting a bit further back down the grid, although he was quickest in qualifying this morning. So expect to see him start kind of storming through the field.
Well, Daniele D'Amato starts eighth on the grid. He would have started seventh, but thanks to the grid drop, he actually now finds himself starting in eighth position on the grid. Socia del Prete is alongside him on the starting grid in seventh position in the CDP car. So that'll be interesting to see what Socio Del Prete can do. Unfortunately, there have been times when he's not quite been up to scratch. But what an incredible weekend the Ferrari Racing Days have put on. The fans have been absolutely treated to motor racing Italian style. There's been great racing, displays, magnificent parades, and some cracking motorsport as well. Ferrari really has dominated the Silverstone weekend here, and everybody seems to be very, very happy with it. And possibly 12 months' time, they'll be back again. However, this is the business end of the weekend. It's time for racing, and it's time to talk you round the circuit for this magnificent circuit in just a short moment time. Well, first of all, we'll tell you a little bit about what happened in the first race for those of you who didn't get a chance to see it. It was very entertaining stuff in the first race, and it leads us in very nicely to what will happen in this second encounter. So yesterday it was Daniele Diamato who took the initiative right from the word go. Giacomo Strata tried to hang with him right from the start, but it didn't work out well for Alexander Martin. Losing a wing mirror, he managed to get it back together again on the Wellington Straight, but there were battles all the way through the field. The 91 of Philip Barron charging his way through the field after a grid penalty that was carried over from Portimao, and then Strata put off at Beckett's scariest corner to go off the circuit, and he ended his day stage left in the gravel. But the action wasn't done yet. Alexander Martin putting pressure on his British rival Sam Smead and eventually making the move to get through. Sam will want to revenge that from this race, and it's going to be very interesting to see who's going to come out on top today. They both start, of course, on the front row of the grid for this one. Incredible from Ezekiel Perez-Companc. He rolled in qualifying and he had to sit in a brand spanking new Ferrari, and he ended up getting in a battle with his teammate Raffaele Giannone. They both lost the wing mirror, and then it got a little bit too close for comfort, with Giannone losing it on the apex and smacking into the side of his Argentine teammate, and off the circuit he went. Nobody could fault Daniele Diamato out in front though, the Italian superstar blitzing the field. He has been the masterclass stellar performer of the race weekend here at Silverstone, and he marched to victory out in front of everybody else. Philip Barron second and Dario Carzo third. But with grid penalties, those three will be charging up from the midfield. So that was race one as it happened. Very entertaining race yesterday. I have a feeling this one could be even better. The Brits on the front row, Sam Smead and Alexander Martin. Let battle begin. Giacomo Strata and Dario Carzo on row two behind them, with Raffaele Giannone and the Russian Vadim Gitlin on row number three. Behind them, Socio Del Prete lining up with the superstar talent of the weekend, Daniele Diamato. He dominated yesterday's race, and he starts from 8th on the grid for this one. It's going to be close. Philip Barron lines up on row 5 alongside the Belgian Florian Merch with a repaired door. He was flapping in the breeze yesterday. Looks like they've got it all sorted for today. Alessandro Vazzoni and Alexander Moisiev are lining up on row 6, ahead of Ezekiel Perez-Companc, who starts right towards the back after finishing second. His grid penalty puts him at the back of the field along with Tommaso Rocca, and another man to watch, David Gosner, who took his first win in the AM class yesterday. He'll be starting dead last in this race. It's going to be an incredible race here at Silverstone. The waiting is over. The second race of the Ferrari Racing Days weekend at Silverstone for the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli. And if you're British, you might want to hang on to your hat. Sam Smead versus Alexander Martin could be the latest battle to rival that of Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg in Formula One. They don't get on, they're good rivals, and sometimes they push that rivalry a little bit over the edge, and both of them will want to win. They're in different teams and in different classes, so if they've got their sensible heads on, they'll stay in their positions and win their classes. However, Charlie, they're racing drivers.
Yeah, I definitely think they'll both be going for the outright win. I think Sam has it a little bit easier, just in the way that he can maybe think there's an AM win there, even if he finishes second or third on the road. But certainly Alex will be going for the outright win, no doubt about it. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Both great guys, both extremely quick, and both have a very good opportunity of winning the race. But as I say, they need to just not slow each other down battling too much for the pride of being top Brit, and get on with the race and not let the guys like Dario Carzo come through.
And it's a really tricky spread of the field behind them closing in, as you said there, Charlie. On board with Philip Baron, the 91, on board with the helmet cam. He'll be charging his way through the field. He starts 9th on the grid, and he was 2nd overall yesterday, so keep an eye on him for overtaking moves. His 2nd race in a row that he's had to charge through. And who's starting just in front of him on the road? Daniele Diamato. He is definitely a contender for this race. Absolutely blitzed yesterday, and he'll be trying his best to do exactly the same today. Dario Carzo, though, is my favourite. Starts 4th on the grid, and he was in the top 3 on merit yesterday. It's up to Sam Smith and Alexander Martin to hold off the challenge, and we'll get a nice little chat with Alex about his race as we go into the Copa Shell later. He'll be able to tell us exactly what it was like, and hopefully he'll have a smile on his face. But knowing Alex, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's a very emotional chap, and hopefully he'll be in a good mood at the end of it all. But that just shows you how competitive this series is. Everybody is out for glory in this one. It's not about finishing 2nd in this championship. It's win or nothing.
No, especially for the two Brits. Alex has dropped a few points in the championship, so for his pro kind of championship battle, so he'll just be going for an outright win, I'm sure. And Sam Smith, unfortunately, hasn't been in the series all year, just I think mainly down to budget issues. So again, he'll be going for the win. You know, we might not see Sam again. I'm not sure if his plans are to be out for the next round or not, but certainly he'll want some home glory and hopefully some sponsorship at the end of the weekend.
That's a very interesting point. Sam Smith is only taking part in his 4th race of the year out of the 10 races that this one will be. This is the 10th race of the year, and this is Sam Smith's 4th start. He did, of course, pick up a win in the AM class, not overall, but in the AM class at Monza. He was the winner, beating the likes of Ezekiel Perez-Kompak and Alexander Moisiev to the podium at Monza, and that was actually good enough to get him 4th overall. So Sam Smith is no slouch. He knows how to work his way through to the front and take advantage of a situation he's given. But Alex Martin's opinion is going to be, well, you've had a victory of some sorts this season. It's my turn now.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's just going to be really close between the two guys, and we must remember as well, it's a 30-minute race, so hopefully we'll see them both get through the first couple of laps safely, and all the guys get through safely. But we'll see how it pans out during the race. I know some drivers tend to be a bit easier on the tyres, some a bit harder on the tyres. Obviously, different teams have different setups and so on. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it pans out. And as the quicker guys, Diamato and a few of the guys that would have maybe been up there in the front row or two without the success penalties, when they start coming through as well and add them into the mix, I think towards the last 10 minutes of the race, it's going to be really exciting.
And that's not even taking into account the likes of Giacomo Strata, Dario Carzo and Raffaele Giannoni, who are right behind those two Brits on the grid. And that'll be an interesting one to watch. The yellow machines in 1st and 2nd place, the two different teams, Stratstone Ferraris, Sam Smith, and Moto Piacenza's Alexander Martin. The lights are out on the safety car. It is a rolling start, and they will be side by side down the straight towards turn 1. It couldn't really get more intense than this for these two. They both want to win at home. They've been racing all season long in various different capacities. Sam Smith, only his 2nd round of the championship, having been at Monza. He's here at Silverstone, and he has a point to prove. They line up very civilly along the Round 2 club chicane, but as soon as those lights turn to green, all civility will disappear, and it'll be time for racing. Sam Smith on the right in the AM class cars. Into the pits comes Moisiev. Moisiev has come into the pits, so his race has already got a problem. Starting originally from 12th on the grid, but he'll have to start from the pits by the look of things. So round we come, the final corner, red lights on, wait for it, when they go green, we're racing to the first corner, green light goes, and it's a brilliant start from Sam Smith. He gets a beautiful jump on Alexander Martin, who's already under pressure from Strata. He goes wide on the inside line. It looks to me as though Smith is under some pressure now from Martin, who's got a great run on him towards the village. This is an absolutely brilliant start from Perez-Kompak as well. They're moving up a couple of places past Tommaso Rocca, and Martin's through into the lead. What a beautiful overtaking move, and that couldn't be better timed. It all gets a little bit close for comfort behind as D'Amato goes side by side with Giannone and Murch. This is brilliant behind them, but Martin has got the break on Sam Smeeth. Strata in third place, Carzo, Giannone, D'Amato, and side by side between Murch and the 91 of Barron. Barron is trying to make his way through. He's going to have a brilliant run on Murch into Brooklands on the inside line. Game on.
It's going to be exciting now. I think, yeah, it's great that the first two have got through the first couple of corners safely. And, yeah, no, I think this is going to be a good race in front of us. So, Sam Smeeth got the run into the first corner or two, and then for however it was done, we didn't see it on camera, but here we go. Alex Martin got back past me, but there you go, straight down the inside into the hairpin. So, as expected from Alex, quite aggressive, good solid move though, no contact. And out the all get. I think they've all got through pretty much cleanly, maybe the odd wing mirror going missing and so on, but off they go.
That is potentially a race-winning move for Alexander Martin. He needed to get past Sam Smeeth quickly to establish a gap because he's got Dario Carzo chasing him. The back end comes out.
Yeah, just made a mistake leaving the Maggots-Beckett's complex there, and you can see he's just lost the exit, which is the worst corner on the circuit to lose your exit speed. Obviously running down the Hanger Straight, so Sam Smeeth is having a go now.
Yeah,
forced to the outside.
Martin sets up shop on the inside line. He's not going to let Sam Smeeth go through, and this is what we were expecting to see, a battle royale between Martin and Smeeth. It is absolutely brilliant. Smeeth is already trying to put Alexander Martin off his game. Meanwhile, Strata is under severe pressure from Dario Carzo behind as the Italians try to reel in the British contingent. This is a brilliant opening lap, and D'Amato, look, he's already up to 5th position ahead of Giannone, who's got some body damage. Barron trying to go round the outside of the final turn and sweeps across to the right side. Barron is coming.
Again, yeah, real close stuff now. This is certainly going to be a good race. Actually, it's going to be hard for Sam Smeeth now, sat in second, because he's going to possibly be forced back into Strata and Carzo and D'Amato, so he's going to have to then defend, and that gives Alex Martin the opportunity to pull away again. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see now over this next few laps, but I know Alex Martin will make his car as wide as possible for the duration of this race, that's for sure.
Well, Carzo needs to make his move on Giacomo Strata to get into 3rd position because he's got Daniele D'Amato right in his tail. This is Giannone and Barron fighting. Barron, look, he is actually kissing the back bumper of the car as he came through. We're on board with Barron as he suddenly realises he's actually going to hit him if he doesn't go wide.
One thing, I'm glad it didn't pass in the next corner because he's actually gained the advantage from running wide. If there was gravel there, he wouldn't have been able to carry that speed onto the straight. So, yeah, he hasn't actually gained a place, so that's fair enough, I think.
Sam Smeeth lining up Alexander Martin to try and get some rhythm through Kopp's corner. He's not going to make the move there. He's far too far back. But if Maggots and Beckett's goes wrong, that's Alexander Moisiev leaves the pits after some problems on the start, so he's already a lap adrift. Sam Smeeth is chasing down Alexander Martin. Martin was the hunter, now he becomes the hunted as Sam Smeeth is trying to close him up. Meanwhile, Strata is holding up Dario Carzo, which is backing him into Daniele D'Amato as Giannone and Barron continue their squabble. Then it's Murch. 9th is Del Prete in front of Gitlin, and it looks like drivers kicking up the dust on the inside apex as D'Amato swarms for Dario Carzo. This is, of course, a battle for the championship between these two. D'Amato, the championship leader, trying to get back past Dario Carzo. He beat him in yesterday's race. The grid penalties mean we've got a great battle between these two, and if Strata keeps holding these two up, it's going to be all for the Brits out in front. They're going to get away.
Yeah, I think D'Amato, though, will be quite happy where he is at the moment. He's made a great start, kept out of trouble. He knows his pace is great this weekend. And, yeah, he'll sit there and I think he'll just wait maybe for a lap or so and just see how things unfold. And there we see Barron again having a good run into the first corner into Abbey, but it's just having to back out, I think.
Barron is not prepared to wait, is he? He knows that his two main rivals in the championship fight, Carzo and D'Amato, are just up the road from him, and he's losing time hand over fist sat behind them. The only advantage he's got is that Giacomo Strata is costing them time as well, so he's got a bit of a safety bracket, but Florian Murch, the Belgian, is right on his tail as well. So now the 91 really needs to find a way through Philip Barron. He's got to try and get that gap down to the two cars in front of him, so he's got to find a way past Raffaele Giannone, who's already been in the wars in this race. Carzo tries to have a look at Strata. A big wobble under braking. It's not easy to hold it once you go committed into the corners. And Strata, of course, is trying to save face after spinning off at Beckett's yesterday. It's essential as far as he's concerned that he does a better job. It looks like Smeeth had got an initial run on Martin up in front.
Yeah, couldn't quite see everything there, but Let's see what he... No, not enough of a run. It's very hard to overtake into Copse, actually. You have to have quite a clear opportunity to do that. So, yeah, back in behind. But it's nice to see those two now just edged away that little bit. And even though it doesn't look a big gap, that's just given them enough breathing space for Smeeth now to attack Martin. So it's going to be yeah, interesting to see how these guys get on.
So D'Amato trying to go for Carzo, Carzo trying to go for Strata. Great battle in first position as well between Martin and Smeeth. The Brits are having a good battle. Barron is trying to make his push onto the back of Raffaele Giannoni as Dario Carzo flashes lights at Strata. Sam Smeeth pops his nose on the inside of Alexander Martin to try and psych him out. 0.4 of a second between them as they come through, and there's absolutely nothing between them on the lap time. Smeeth is going around the outside of Martin as Carzo tries to make a move around the outside of Strata. Smeeth goes around the outside of Club Chicane. Alexander Martin defends, and Smeeth has gone through. Smeeth takes the lead, but Alexander Martin might be able to go for him on the undercut. Great battling between these two. It's game on. Smeeth versus Martin, and Alexander Martin steps up the game once again, and Carzo's up to third, D'Amato's up to fourth, Strata down to fifth position as Barron makes a look on the inside of Giannoni. He can't afford to wait too much longer, but the battle is on.
Yeah, very exciting couple of corners there. It's such a shame that Alex got a bad run out of Stowe, and yeah, Smeeth got a good run down the inside, but really actually good racing, both side by side, gave each other the space. You can see Sam Smeeth then straight back onto the proper racing line. No, not having to drive defensively, so he's breaking away already, which is this is where Alex Martin now has to be careful as Carzo closes up. So if he goes into the defensive mode, he's going to start losing time to Smeeth.
And not only Carzo, but Daniele D'Amato as well. He's leading the pro class, but the problem he's got now is that Carzo and D'Amato are right on his tail, and Barron is not far away. So it is going to be very close indeed. They're nose to tail for that battle as Barron hits Giannoni. That's gone terribly wrong, and Murch has to take avoiding action. And the stewards are going to want to have a look at that one. Giannoni pitched into a spin at Luffield Corner, and I have a feeling that the stewards are not going to be very happy with Barron's actions there as Carzo flashes the lights at Alexander Martin. They are racing for the pro victory as Smeeth pulls away out in front on the Stratstone Ferrari. The British team with a British driver having an absolutely barnstorming day out there. But in second place, Alexander Martin. The pressure is on.
Yeah, so now for Alex, he's got to just focus on this pro race lead. So he's second overall, but still leading his category. So he's going to put up everything he can to do that, and he'll still be chasing down Smeeth. He certainly won't be letting him get away. But I think Sam's had good pace all weekend. The cars look great. He's yeah, driving well, and I think now he might just. I know he's a very calm, relaxed guy certainly when you're speaking to him, and I know occasionally I've seen his onboard footage inside the car, and he nearly lets go of the steering wheel down the straight. He's so relaxed. He looks like he's sat in an armchair when he's driving. So yeah, I think he'll just settle down now. He can just see that he's got a little bit of a gap, and he'll know as well. He'll see when Alex Martin's having to defend, so that gives him the opportunity to break away. But certainly it's yeah, far from done with Carzo and D'Amato still there as well. So there's still plenty can happen in this race.
Well, if you were to compare the two British drivers in this field to Formula One drivers, you'd call Sam Smeeth the Jenson Button of the field, and you'd call Alexander Martin the Lewis Hamilton. He's a very aggressive driver with his overtaking moves. That's not to say he hits people. He's just very good at making the move, and we've got a problem out in front of our position. That is the 27 that stopped. That's Alessandro Vazzoni. Something is very wrong with the car. It looks like it's on fire.
Now, interestingly, they might have to bring out a safety car for this, because that's just stopped where the cars are actually running off out of the corner. So, as we can see straight from our commentary booth, you can see them shouting the marshals. The marshals are about to run over. Yeah, marshals are running over. There's a fire inside the car.
We're looking at a replay of Barron pitching Giannoni into a spin, and yes, the car, it does look like it's ablaze under the engine cover. Now, as you say, this is in a very difficult position. The steward's running over. Very heavy, the fire extinguishers there, struggling to get to him in time. Now, this could indeed bring out the safety car, Charlie. It's not the best of positions, the final turn, and the fire still going from what we can see in our position. D'Amato still trying to close down on Dario Carzo on the pictures in front of us. But yes, the engine is well and truly cooked, and it's a bit of a barbecue, unfortunately, for the 27 of Alessandro Vazzoni. So no strong performance like there should have been yesterday. But his race is well and truly done. Now, there is smoke, of course, across the finish line at the final turn. Are they going to bring out the safety car here? It is a consideration. And apparently a message has gone now to number 96. That is Raffaele Giannone. Apparently he needs to respect track limits. Well, I don't know if that's referring to the incident between him and Barron, because that's a little bit mean if it is, because there's not really much you could have done about it. Look at the gap that Sam Smead has pulled out on Alexander Martin on the road. Martin has fallen into the clutches of Carzo, and he's really struggling here, but he has got a victory in the pro class on the cards. Now, the marshals are in position right beside Vezzoni's car. And oh, D'Amato runs very wide at the final turn. Now, realistically, they need to consider the safety car here, because the problem is D'Amato came far too close for comfort, for losing the back of the car, and could very nearly have gone into Vezzoni's car. Vezzoni himself and the marshals have now run well clear of the car, but it isn't exactly in the safest position, so they might want to consider the safety car at this point. It is a slightly dangerous position from my view.
Yeah, I think that they've got to really... I know it's one corner that's renowned for track limits, coming out of Club Corner on the with the new runoff out there. And lots of championships have to keep their eye on drivers there, and the car's literally sat on the exit, and it's at that stage where they're just running wide coming out. And yeah, I know a lot of drivers have been getting away with running slightly wide all weekend there, so it looks like they're attempting to push the car out of the way though. So if they can, it's in neutral, so it's moving, so if they can get it further enough along the track out of the way, hopefully they'll be able to keep the race moving. But
yeah, they have got time actually, so maybe it's not necessary to throw the safety car out. I know it's on standby, but it looks as though the marshals are actually getting it moved fairly quickly, so I think they have averted crisis here. Now this is on board with, well, this has got to be Barron, the helmet cam, making the move. So Barron has moved up a place on Florian Merch. He's moved up into 6th position now. But Martin, look at this, he's got to endure this for 18 minutes. Dario Carzo swarming all over the back of him, hopping over the curbs, desperately trying to close him down. Could you last this for 18 minutes, Charlie? It's absolutely unbelievable.
It looks very tense, doesn't it, for Alex? But yeah, one thing's for sure, the safety car, well, doesn't look like it's going to come now, but it certainly would have closed up the action for us and made things a bit more exciting. But funny enough, actually, now D'Amato's not putting much pressure on the two in front now. Yeah, yeah, I'm surprised at that, because I thought there'd be a lot of I thought he'd be right there on the pace, but he's just dropped back. But whether he's just keeping now to trouble for the moment, he still knows as we've got more than half the race to go, so just looking after things and seeing how it unfolds.
Incident involving cars 96 and 91 under investigation. That is Philip Barron in the 91 and Raffaele Giannone in the 96. And Barron has actually moved past Strata now to move into 5th position. So if he gets a penalty, that is a huge points loss to Daniele D'Amato. That's going to be a bit of a headache for him. And we know that British racing on the circuits is a lot stricter when it comes to track limits and driving standards than on the continent. There's the confirmation from race control. Philip Barron and Raffaele Giannone, that incident under investigation as Philip Barron tries to close up on Daniele D'Amato, who, as you say, Charlie, I was expecting him to be a lot quicker than this and put Carzo under a bit more pressure, but Dario has really broken the tail, and now he's putting pressure on the Brit Alexander Martin, who, from his perspective, he's got everything to lose here. He's leading his home race, and the pressure is on him. For Dario, well, he's already ahead of Daniele D'Amato, and he's outclassing his championship rival here. So, as far as Carzo is concerned, all he needs to do is sit behind Alex Martin and wait for a mistake.
Yes, yeah, but if you see now, Alex Martin's just opening up that gap slowly where Carzo was challenging before. So, I think Alex is now getting to a nice rhythm. And yeah, the lap times between himself and Sam Smead, there's not much difference there, and Carzo is actually a couple of tenths slower. So I think Alex is in a good position at the moment.
Drive-through penalty for Philip Barron. Philip Barron has been given a drive-through penalty, running in 5th position, and that has taken a severe hammer blow to his championship aspirations. He is not going to be able to close in on Daniele D'Amato, so Barron is out of contention to win this race, and that is for the contact with Raffaele Giannone. So there it is, drive-through penalty. And disaster then for Philip Barron. He was 4th in the pro category anyway. Look at the brake discs glowing, Big Star. Has he got a problem there? Because that's glowing quite a lot more than we're used to seeing from these cars. I wonder, has he got a brake issue developing?
Yeah, he did look like they were glowing quite a lot there. But you do see that a lot with these challenge cars, actually, especially not so much at Silverstone, but certainly at some of the places like Monza and so on. You do see a lot of that.
So Philip Barron will be fuming and foaming at the mouth now, knowing that he's got to have a drive-through penalty, which means he'll finish fourth and nowhere else in this race. He's certainly not going to get more of an opportunity to close in on Daniele Di Amato, because the drive-through penalty is going to cost him over half a minute roughly. So that's his chance, he's gone. Meanwhile, Alexander Martin is having to make that Ferrari as wide as a Buick to keep Dario Carzo behind him. He's really working hard here on the inside line, hugging everywhere.
Yeah, you could just see there again, Alex just went into that slight defensive mode into the second part, into the second hairpin, and yeah, Carzo with his usual flashing of the lights just to try and take a little bit of concentration away from
he's nudging,
he's nudging,
the back end steps out on Carzo. That was close, that was really, really close. He almost lost it altogether.
Yes, yeah, I actually thought it was Carzo who was going to go there rather than Alex, but that'll just yeah, wake Alex up again now. But you can see that's actually opened up a small gap again, so that gives maybe Alex another lap or two just to keep his head down and knuckle on.
Well, Alex is backing into these two once again. His last lap was a 2:09.4 compared to Carzo on a 2:09.3 and Di Amato on a 2:09.2. Smith out in front has just set a new fastest lap, 2:08.3, so he is romping away out in front. 2 corners clear now through the Maggots-Beckett's complex. Carzo and Di Amato are reeling in Alexander Martin. And, right, we've got another incident involving cars 25 and another car, but we don't know what the other car is. That's Daniele Di Amato. Yeah,
Di Amato, so it'd be interesting to know what that is. Maybe it's not for slowing enough under the wave yellow flags where there was a car in the Exeter Club, because he did run all 4 wheels off the circuit that lap.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, whether they just picked up on that.
Well, here's the incident as Carzo tries to muscle his nose on the inside of Martin, taps him on the back. Let's have a look on board with Martin. Definite contact, and Carzo, the back end, steps out. What a save. What a save.
Yeah, I mean, these are expensive cars, and cars that if you were driving them on the road, the 458 Ferraris, you certainly wouldn't want to do that, but we look like we're watching a bit of a British touring car race into Brooklands and Luffield there.
A very frustrated Philip Barron takes his drive-through penalty, and that's cost any chance of a podium in the pro category. He'll still score high because he'll finish 4th in the class, and that's still going to be maximum points for 4th position in the class. There's no deficiency in the points scored for minimum number of cars in the class, so 4th position will still net him some good points. But he's going to be driving with the red mist now. He is an angry chappie, and he wants to get back on the circuit, and he actually drives over the white line on the exit of the pits. Now in Formula 1, that's a penalty. I wonder what the stewards will make of that.
Yeah, things like that should be picked straight up on, and he should be straight back into the pits for another drive-through, because if you get away with it once, it's like the track limits coming out of club corner. If they penalise somebody, nobody will do it, but if they let people get away with it, it'll go on all weekend, and I would say that's probably the case there with Di Amato, and you can see that in various areas on the circuit where all the cars are all 4 wheels off the racetrack, and yeah, if you give people the penalty, it won't be done again.
Well, Alex Martin, 0.2 of a second ahead of Carzo. We saw the battle for the 2nd place in the AM category. That's Strata and Merch, the Belgian.
Somebody.
Yeah, that's the 97. That is Rocker. Rocker with a slight issue there. I wonder if he's gone off the circuit somewhere. Let's have a look at the replay. Oh, yes, big tank slapper.
Just lost it on his own there, hasn't he? Yeah.
Philip Barron saw the whole thing, and he was very lucky not to go straight into the side of Barron's car. Oh dear, merry-go-round. That's what that car becomes, and he's very lucky that the car doesn't back into Barron's car. So we have half the race still to go here of the no, sorry, we've gone past half distance now, haven't we? Sorry. So we've got 10 minutes or so left on the clock, and it's going to be very interesting to see if Alex Martin can hold the field off. He's done very well for the last 20 minutes or so, holding off Dario Carzo, and now Carzo's in trouble. He's sliding around all over the place, and Daniele Di Amato is sensing an open invitation to go for 2nd place, and that should gift wrap victory to Alex Martin.
Yes, yeah, I think Alex Martin now has got the measure of Carzo, actually. I know Carzo, yeah, certainly isn't letting Alex get away.
Oh,
but
no! No, Daniele Di Amato's got a penalty. Disrespecting yellow flags at the final corner. Daniele Di Amato and Philip Barron are going to be battling with each other for 3rd position. Dario Carzo has been given a get-out-of-jail-free card here. He does not have to worry about Daniele Di Amato. And there's been a warning, too, for Dario Carzo. So Carzo's got a warning flag, and I'm guessing that's for track limits. It's all kicking off here.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I think that's actually fair enough. As much as I like Daniele Di Amato, spend some time with him in the pit garage, but he really nice guy. But I think that's fair enough because he'll know then he has to back off on the yellow flags, and it's not just Formula One that all these rules are applied. They're worked into other categories and championships, but you've got to be strong with your kind of race stewarding, and let's see what they can get away with. Yeah, otherwise they'll be doing it all day. So I think that's kind of fair enough. But he'll actually come back out, I think, still third in class. So although he'll lose the opportunity to challenge for first or second as a pro car, I think he will still come out as a third pro car with the gap he has behind him.
Well, Daniele Di Amato, the Italian, the championship leader, has been given a drive-through penalty for disrespecting yellow flags. That is the actual reason, and it's for that last corner manoeuvre when Alessandro Vazzoni's car was ablaze. And what are we going to see here? This is the battle for second in the AM class between Strata and Murch. Murch kicking up the dust on the exit of Luffield there on the inside line. And that just shows you how easy it is to put one wheel on the grass. And if Carzo has got a warning flag, I'm assuming, well, it's either for track limits or it's that little manoeuvre on Alex Martin, isn't it?
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably for track limits, but
oh yeah, four wheels off the grass, off the circuit and onto the AstroTurf that time. So Carzo, he's got another warning flag. That's a second warning flag for Dario Carzo. So this is getting farcical. Now the rule in Britain, I don't know if it's going to be as strict as it is in a Ferrari Challenge race held in Britain, but the warning flag goes again to Dario Carzo for four wheels over the line. 3 times in Britain and you get a 5-second penalty.
Yes, yeah, I mean, I'm surprised it's only been 3 times, to be honest, because he seems to do it 3 times a lap from the start of the race. But he, yeah, you can see he's doing it more and more. So he should be, I would imagine, yeah, 3 times in the UK, and then you receive a penalty. So, yeah, he should just back it off now. His team should be letting him know that Di Amato has an issue behind him. He'll have to serve a drive-through, and he should, he should just be kind of calming it down with the track limits now.
Well, Giacomo Strata is under severe pressure now from Florian Murch. Both these drivers were in the walls yesterday. Strata spun it at Beckett's out of the race, and Murch had a problem with his door, and now they're battling for second place in the AM category. It looks like we're going to have a completely different trio of drivers on the AM podium compared to what we had yesterday, but Florian Murch, the Belgian, is working hard. Looking through the rest of the field, by the way, Del Prete is in 7th place, Barron is in 8th place now, Gitlin in 9th, Rocca 10th from Giannoni, and Ezekiel Perez-Companc, who's actually had a pit stop. So we're not too sure why Ezekiel Perez-Companc has come into the pits, but it looks like he's not going to get a repeat of his performance. Gostner has had a pit stop as well. So both drivers, I wonder if they've hit each other.
Yeah, if you look at the last lap of Perez-Companc, he's actually as quick as some of the leaders after Sam Smeeth, you know, and Alex Martin. So he's right up there in the kind of leading pace of the top 4 or 5 runners. So yeah, maybe he's had an issue. He's actually just gone purple as we speak in the first sector, so he's just in the fastest first sector of the race. So yeah, interesting to know if he's had an issue, had a spin, had some damage, and has had to pit because of that. But well, certainly there's no issues with the car at the moment.
Looking at the radar, Gostner has not come through, so it looks like Gostner is out of the race. Now I wonder, has there been contact between Ezekiel Perez-Companc in the 90 and Gostner in the 50? Because, oh, into the pits comes Di Amato. That's for his drive-through penalty. So there goes his chances of winning the class. As Strata and Murch continue their battle now. It's going to be interesting to see where is Philippe Baron. Where is Baron? Because he has overtaken Vadim Gitlin and Rocca since his drive-through penalty. He's had it go terribly, terribly wrong for him, but he might be able to get 3rd position out of this race. Just when he thought any chance of a podium was gone, Di Amato has a drive-through penalty as well, so he might be able to get back on terms with Daniele Di Amato and get a podium here. Murch swarming all over the back of Giacomo Strata, really working hard here. Look at this through the chicane. You can tell us a little bit more, Charlie, about what the car is doing through these complex of corners.
Yeah, you can just see it's very loaded up, fast section there, but yeah, just slowing the car down. You can see, let's see, ooh, again, track limits on the exit there. Ooh, too much this time there.
He almost pulled a full Kimi Raikkonen there, didn't he? I was
about to say we're going to see a Kimi Ferrari then coming out of coming on to the Wellington Straight, but
let's see, on board with Florian Murch, 4 wheels off the road, a little bit onto the grass as well. When Kimi Raikkonen did that in Formula 1, we had a race stoppage for an hour this year. And it was starting to look a little bit like we might get the same again, but fortunately, everybody is okay. D'Amato makes his drive-through penalty, but where has he come out? That's the big issue, because Strata and Merch have gone through. They're battling for 4th overall now and 2nd and 3rd in the AM category. Where has Baron got out in relation to... Well, where has Baron and D'Amato come out? D'Amato's come out in front of Baron by quite a considerable margin as well, so Baron got held up trying to get past these two, Gitlin and Rocker. Gitlin and Rocker in the 72 and 97. They've had some issues. Del Prete and Gitlin battling. Del Prete trying to make his move into Maggots. That's a scary manoeuvre, and it's actually put Gitlin off. So Gitlin struggling to hold the car together, and Del Prete, I think he's outcycled him, but it's how he collects the car together. And now the 88 has been given a warning for track limits, and that doesn't surprise me in the slightest.
No, not at all. I mean, it's getting to that stage of the race now as well, where you'll see some of these guys are getting a bit tired, but that shouldn't be a massive issue. But also tyres going off is a big thing at this stage of the race. The cars don't have a huge amount of aero, but they do have a lot of power, so they're moving around a lot throughout the race constantly. From the start, so you can see some setups will be a bit more based upon a longer, more conservative race run. Some will be quicker at the start, and you can this is when you tend to see the differences towards the last 5-10 minutes of the race, where some cars are quicker and some drivers are quicker.
So we're into the final 4 minutes of the race then. Smeed is leading the AM class and the race overall. Alex Martin in 2nd overall and leading the pro category. It could be a double victory for the Brits here if they just hang on another 3.5 minutes, but Dario Carzo is right on the tail of Alex Martin. Strata and Merch are in 4th and 5th. D'Amato has rejoined in 6th, crucially 3.5 seconds ahead of Philip Baron. So that battle could go right down to the wire. Gitlin is in 8th. Socio Del Prete, that's him, chasing him down for 9th position at the moment. He is he's in 9th position at the moment, chasing down Gitlin for 8th place. Rocca, Giannoni and Perez Companc continue the field. Gosner is well and truly out of this one by the look of things. No, sorry, he does come through, does Gosner, but he's a long way behind the rest of the field. So Gosner is still circulating around the circuit. He's just come through the end of the 1st sector, I believe.
So I would say this is the star of the race, so Sam Smeed we're just looking at on the screen. We haven't seen much of him over the last 10 minutes, but if you're leading the race and you're not shown on the screen, as we talked about yesterday with D'Amato, that's often a good thing, because he's got, look at that lovely big gap into 2nd place to Alex Martin there, the 2nd of the yellow cars, and he done an excellent job, and I'm sure he's going to control it for the last couple of laps. His lap times have just dropped off over the last lap actually, and he was just pulling away lap after lap, but I think he's now just probably conserving everything, looking after the tyres, keeping off the curbs, things like that, obviously respecting the track limits, just to be 100% sure there's no risk of any penalties or any late drivers in the race.
And there is David Gosner in front of Alex Martin on the road. Last lap, here we go. So we're on to the last lap of this race, and it looks like it's going to be a double bubble for the Brits, as another warning flag goes out to the 88 of Florian Merch and a warning to the 91 of Philip Baron for track limits again. So they're pushing it right the way to the last here, and Alex Martin flashes his lights to David Gosner. Come on, get out of the way. I've got Dario Carzo a 2.5 seconds behind me, and he's actually looked after his car well. He's the fastest man on the track at the moment, is Alex Martin, other than Philip Baron. So Sam Smeed has got the gap, and he's not really got any pressure at the moment. 5 seconds or so is the gap back to Alex Martin. So from Sam Smeed's point of view, he can cruise, but Alex Martin needs to keep the pressure on just a little bit here, because Dario Carzo is a 1.5 seconds behind him, and he cannot afford to get held up by David Gosner. He's got a victory on the cards here, but what an amazing result this would be if both Brits could win in their classes and be 1st and 2nd across the line.
Absolutely, I think there'll be some big smiles. Again, there we see Sam Smeed, nice run into Cops. Car looking immaculate, FF course prepared, or Team Stratstone. Looking great at the moment. So home turf for those guys, and then the 2nd place car of Alex Martin. But we can see Alex actually has just done his fastest lap of the race, his personal fastest, on the last lap. So quite impressive, just showing how strong his car is and how well he's driving as well, to still be able to put in those lap times right at the end of the race. So that's quite impressive.
Sam Smeed took a class victory at Monza at the start of the season. He has barely raced since then, but what an incredible result this is going to be for the 92. The Stratstone Ferrari racer, Sam Smeed, is going to come through and take his 2nd class win of the year and his 1st overall win of the year. His best result before this weekend was 4th overall. He was 8th overall in yesterday's race, and that was good enough for 4th in class. But what a day it's going to be for the Stratstone Ferrari racer out of the final chicane, and the Brits have done the business. The crowd cheers. It's a British victory. Sam Smeeth wins in the TropheoPirelli Ferrari Challenge overall. A great win too in the pro category for Alex Martin to back up the victory he got at Brno earlier in the year, and that's his highest overall finish of the year. He was 3rd overall at Portimao. Now he's 2nd overall here at Silverstone. 2 class wins for them. Great podium finishes for Dario Carzo in 2nd in class, and D'Amato finishes 3rd in class in the pro category, beating Philip Barron. He will not be happy with that. But a 2nd place in category for Giacomo Strata. What a comeback after yesterday spinning off. But driver 91 Barron is under investigation by the stewards, apparently, possibly for more track limits. Maybe they'll give him a penalty to add insult to injury. He can't fall further than 4th position in the pro category because there are only 4 pro drivers. But what an amazing result. Strata 2nd in the AM category, Murch 3rd in the AM category and 5th overall. D'Amato comes home 3rd in the pro category as well. The top 6 are the top 3 in each category. But what a result, what a day. The Brits have done it.
Yes, yeah, I think we're going to see some, there you go, Alex Martin, very happy with that. 1st in the pro class, 2nd overall, really, really happy. His father, Rupert, will be racing later in the day, so he'll have a bit of pressure on his shoulders now to do the same level of performance. So let's see how Rupert gets on, but you can see both of them happy. One thing I'm very happy with, that there was certainly no contact with the two, and I know they're fierce rivals and they would want to be top Brit. Here we go, Alex Martin doing some donuts.
Nice donuts for the British fans. Excellent. Alex Martin, he might get a fine for that one. I don't think he cares.
No, I don't think Alex will care at all. He enjoys his racing and he's very, very quick. There you go, you can see Dextra lighting down the side of the car. I know they've got some guests here today and family and friends and so on. So yeah, that was nice of Alex, and and Sam Smeeth there celebrating as well. So, but the good thing is, as we're saying, there's no contact between any of the leaders. They've all been fair with each other, giving each other space, and obviously seeing our dream result of a British 1-2.
What a great result on home turf. Yesterday they looked quick in qualifying, they looked quick in practice, and they looked quick in the race, but they just didn't get the setup right for one reason or another. Today, it's a glorious result. A win in the pro category for Alex Martin, a win in the AM category for Sam Smeeth, and that is what a donut looks like on board.
That's not a bad effort for Alex either. He's done that in a nice area of lots of space. So so that's good, nice.
Triple donut with Pike. I think that's a good one, isn't it? What a great result then for this fantastic British weekend for the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli. Martin of Great Britain wins ahead of the Italians Dario Carzo and Daniele D'Amato. And in the AM category and overall, Sam Smeeth, another Brit, takes the victory from Giacomo Strata and Florian Murch. It may be an all-Italian weekend as far as the Ferrari boys are concerned, but in race 2, the Brits have come and conquered on home soil. Take that.
Here we see Sam Smeeth very relaxed again, getting out of the car, but there you go, he's over the moon with that. And both teams of drivers have got lots of family and friends here, so it's really, really nice for them to see. But you can see Carzo there, a bit more relaxed with it, probably a bit frustrated. He was probably had in the back of his mind that he'd be coming through the field to win, but he just didn't have the pace to challenge the two guys in front of him. So I'm sure he's happy with a 2nd place in pro and 3rd overall.
Well, yesterday, the winners in every category was an Italian. Today, it's very different, and Alex Martin and the Motor Piacenza squad, they are delighted as well. Rupert is there with them as well. That is a family celebration. What a great moment that is for the Motor Piacenza squad. Let's have a look at how they did it. So we'll talk you through the action in what was an absolutely spectacular race in the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli. A great start by Sam Smeeth, exactly how he needed it to go, but Alex Martin, crucially, beat him to the village corner. Despite things getting tight and twisty in the midsection, everybody just about got away with it. And what a move from Martin. That could have been a race-winning move, but it certainly was a race-winning manoeuvre in the pro category. He got away, but eventually Sam Smeeth did the business at the club chicane and took the advantage. Philip Barron in the wars, pitching Raffaele Giannone into a spin, and Murch very lucky to avoid more contact. But as the Moto Piacenza squad watched on, Alex Martin defended valiantly from Dario Carzo, desperately trying to keep him back for lap after lap, minute after minute. And though it got close, Martin had enough in the bag to keep him and his other championship rival, Daniele Di Amato, behind him. Although Carzo very nearly spoiled their day. A great battle too for two men trying to come back from misery in race one. Giacomo Strata and the wayward Florian Merch. They both came home in the podium positions. But it's all smiles at Stratstone Ferrari as Sam Smead absolutely obliterated the rest of the field. It's a win in the AM category for Sam Smead and a win in the Pro category for Alexander Martin. The British flag flying high at Silverstone in the Ferrari Challenge TropheoPirelli race. It may not affect much in the championship, but the British fans and drivers are delighted. So, race commentator Dave Goddard was very delighted to hear the Italian national anthem all day long. He's going to be fairly patriotic in his pride for some British flags. So, interview with the winners. Rupert Martin looks on. He's about to hear his son Alex being interviewed, and fantastic to see in both categories. The Brits were under so much pressure from the front row of the grid, but they delivered, and they delivered in style.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. As I say, it's nice. There was no contact between the two. The race very fairly. Even when Sam Smead went down the inside of Alex into Vale Corner, Alex gave space, obviously wanted to pass him back, but the opportunity wasn't there. And but the race very fairly, and it was great double win in both categories for them.
So now it's up to Rupert Martin to make it 3 out of 3. No pressure, Rupert.
Come on,
Here's
Rupert.
Alessandro with Sam Smead. Alex Martin.
Buon pomeriggio a tutti, siamo qui con Alexander Martin, vincitore del quinto round del Trofeo Pirelli. Alexander Martin, winner of the 5th round in Trofeo Pirelli. You take the leadership after a big fight between you and Caso. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really good. Dario's a really good driver, and he leaves lots of racing room, and I like to try and do the same, so it's a fair fight. And yeah, just had a lot of fun, and it's great to do it at home. You know, this is the only race we have in England this year, so yeah, awesome.
Good job, Alexander. Thank you so much. Grazie. Buon lavoro.
Those smile lines are going to be stuck to his face for quite a long time, aren't they?
Yes, yeah, I know all the family's got a great team with it. Obviously, his father, Rupert, racing in the Shell category, and Barry Horn, former Porsche Carrera Cup champion, but looks after both of the cars, kind of from a driver coaching point of view, and overseeing the other areas of the involvement with Dexter Racing. So Barry looks after them well, and his and Alex's lovely wife Alicia there as well, who just saw down below. So they'll all be really happy, and yeah, I'm sure they'll have a few drinks this evening.
So here is the Pro category finishing result then. Barron 4th position after his problems. Di Amato taking the final step on the podium. Dario Carzo in 2nd, but it's a British winner, Alex Martin. So let's get those 3 drivers on the podium. We have to give credit to Daniele Di Amato. The back was against the wall for him, but he's managed to maintain a 20-point gap over Dario Carzo in the championship points. As you can see, Philip Barron in 3rd, ahead of Alexander Martin. That win getting him 1 step closer to his rival. He could be in the top 3 of the championship if he keeps this form up.
Yeah, he should have that as his little target there. He should want to be 3rd, and yeah, Di Amato taking the applause, but yeah, fairly relaxed with that. I think they'll be relieved with that 3rd, but could have expected a little bit more.
Good battle there with Dario Carzo in 2nd place, but how about that? A British winner at Silverstone. Listen to the crowd. Alexander Martin. We're about to hear God Save the Queen in a Ferrari weekend, and there's a great embrace between those two. Absolutely brilliant performance. They were a bit frustrated. I think they wanted to get to the end of the verse. Alexander Martin tried to encourage them to continue singing. Fantastic. And did you see his cheeky little Schumacher leap in the pre-part of that as well?
Yeah, he didn't quite get as high as Schumacher used to, I don't think, but it was a heavy landing as well when he came down for Alex. So.
Well, here's Andrea Reggiali to give the trophies to the top 3 drivers. Third position going to Daniele D'Amato. Second place going to Dario Carzo, and that victory trophy, well deserved, it has to be said by Alexander Martin, because it was so easy to crack under pressure of Carzo and D'Amato. They gave him so much grief over the course of the race, half an hour of grief, and he didn't let up. He did his best Gandalf impression, didn't he? You shall not pass.
Yes,
and he kept them all behind.
That was one thing we were going to see off Alex. He definitely wasn't going to make it easy for anyone. But to be fair, as we mentioned before, Carzo was close for that kind of 5-6 laps of the race, but then Alex actually settled down, and the challenge wasn't really there for Carzo. He never actually really had a proper go other than the little tap earlier on in the race into Brooklands.
This champagne is going to taste oh so sweet for Alex Martin, and that's how to do it. Brilliant stuff, and that win moves Alexander Martin 4 points behind Philip Barron in the Drivers' Championship. He's got a real chance to go for glory in this one now. He's only about 24 points behind the championship leader as well, so you never know. There is a good opportunity here. 44 points in the championship fight, so that's not bad going. Here's the AM finishing position. Sam Smith ahead of Giacomo Strata and Florian Merch, with Gitlin, Del Prete, Rocca, Giannoni, Padish Compact down in 8th place, Gosna a lap behind, and Vazzoni in that char-grilled Rosso Corsa Pellin Racing Ferrari not finishing. That's an important victory for Sam Smith, and Alessandro has found a very, very happy Sam Smith, who wins the AM class and the overall race.
Eccoci ancora con Sam Smith, vincitore nella categoria AM. Sam, congratulations. This race was fantastic for you. It's your home race. How do you feel this victory in Silverstone?
Well, thank you very much. I am absolutely astounded and really happy. It's quite an amazing victory to have, being my home track, but it's also the team FF Corsa. They're also based here, and as you know of racing, it's a complete effort between the two of us to produce a good package in order to win a race. So I'm really happy. Couldn't be more happy. It's a great car to drive as well. So.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Grazie.
Not bad at all from Sam Smith, and not easy, that victory either, because he made it look pretty done and dusted in the latter stages, but he lost the lead initially to Alexander Martin, and another driver might have let that get to him, but not Sam Smith.
Yeah, as you can see from the interview there, Sam's quite laid back and relaxed, and you know, I don't think he gets kind of ruffled that easily. So, but he drove it really, really well, just settled down, and then his pace towards the end of the race was fantastic. So, top job by him.
Sam Smith has raced 4 times in the 2014 campaign, and he has a 50% winning streak, 2 wins in the season. Very good performance from Sam Smith. Third position there for Florian Merch. Giacomo Strata, what a comeback after retirement yesterday. He'll be happy with second place, but it's another British victor. Sam Smith has done it, and listen to the Stratstone Ferrari crew. They are well and truly delighted, and it's a shorter version of God Save the Queen, as we now know, that's going to celebrate with Sam Smith and the team. Great performance.
For the second time today, we hear our national anthem.
Well, they played the whole anthem this time, and that's going to be an interesting video on YouTube, isn't it? That GoPro that flashed at the camera. Very nice there. Great performance, though, from Sam Smith. Really, really intense race, that one. And let's give a mention, of course, to Florian Merckx and Giacomo Strata. A great battle all race long, and they kept it clean.
Yes, yeah, I think Giacomo Strata will be really happy. Well, you see he's very happy with that podium after yesterday. Just a mistake yesterday put him in the gravel, but it's always nice to see a podium as well where there's 3 really happy guys, rather than occasionally you see the 2nd or 3rd place maybe, yeah, not as happy for whatever reason. But yeah, all 3 of these guys are really pleased with that result, which is good to see.
You get one Formula One podium like that in a year, and in this championship you get it pretty much every race, don't you? It's absolutely wonderful to see how much joy, passion, energy and enthusiasm there is for this sport and for this championship. Long, long may it continue, and any championship that gives this much excitement and enthusiasm on the Silverstone circuit, I, for one, am absolutely delighted with it. They were entertaining when I was here for Mugello earlier in the year, and they've done it again in style. In fact, they've done it all season long. It's always been fantastic in 2014.
Yeah, there's been some close racing all year, and there's been a little bit of contact here and there, but generally all the guys have raced really, really well, and we've seen the odd damaged bumper and things, but nothing too silly. And Sam straight into drinking it there rather than spraying it, so yeah, he's got his priorities right. Yeah.
That's a very satisfying moment for Sam Smeeth. What this means for the championship, though, of course, is that the championship leaders can be nobbled. It's an amazing opportunity for the other drivers to take a little bit more out of the championship leaders. You never know what can happen when the TropheoPirelli field heads on to Istanbul next time out. The championship isn't done yet, and there might be another sting or 2 in the tail. But Silverstone has entertained us royally. The Copa Shell race is still the last race on the bill, but in an entertaining weekend for the Ferrari company and its fans and enthusiasts, there's still the Copa Shell race to come. But who's going to win the championship in TropheoPirelli? We'll have to move on to Istanbul to find out.
The leadership